So recently, I've been really thinking about during my time in this winter retreat about the power of a good visualization in society and in the world. Whether you're ordained or a layperson or whatever you are. And I was thinking about this because images are very powerful for my mind, at which people here know. They've always been powerful for my mind. I grew up liking drawing, painting, and making films with movies and taking pictures. One thing I used to like doing before moving to the Abbey was I would go around town where I lived, and I would just put up all these stickers, like on posts, signposts, and benches. Um, and they were stickers of like Dharma, the Buddha, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and they were big stickers. Um, and I had so much fun doing this. This was my way of spreading the Dharma through visuals. Yeah, this was really meaningful for me, and hopefully this ripens some people's minds. And I've also been coming back to this question, what do I want to use this body for in this life? And how do I want to use this body? Do I want to use this body to get as much successive sensual pleasure as possible? Lots of people do this. Do I want to manipulate this body my whole life so that it fits in with society's ideals of beauty? That would be a really lifelong pursuit, and it would be frustrating, I think. Many people already fulfill these roles. So, a lot of people, and they represent this way of being already. And is this an inspiring image to project? I don't think so. So one example of something that sticks with me, this image that women emulate, specifically women. I was thinking of some interviews that I watched before I moved here, and they were interviews of two actresses in huge major motion picture films. And one was playing Catwoman, and the other was playing Black Widow. And these two interviews, they were getting sexist questions, basically. And they were different interviews, they were different movies, but both of these women were being asked these questions about, like, how did you fit into that suit? Wow, what was your diet like to fit into that suit? And these women, they both kind of responded along the lines of, why do I get all the boring sexist questions and not the juicy character development questions like my male counterparts? And yeah, I'm on their side, that's very true. But I was also thinking, at the same time, these women made the choice to wear skin-tight suits for 2 hours in a huge movie that's going to be seen by millions of people. So they made a choice, and they chose to participate in this image, this perpetuation of this image for women. And there are consequences to that. And yeah, I'm not sure if that's something to idolize, that type of projection. So how can the body represent something that's beyond sexual attraction, beyond a narrow role for women? How can my body represent something that's beyond a samsaric image? Do I want to use my body to project an enlightened image into the world? What would an enlightened representation look like? And, there are many ways to make impressions on living beings. There are so many ways to convey enlightenment through form. And some other questions I've been thinking about are, what's a way of being that will give other people the greatest access to the Dharma? What's a way to live that strengthens the Dharma and makes it live long in the world? How can I use this body to support others on their path to lasting happiness and fulfillment? And I also want to share this other example of the power of visualizations in the world, specifically virtuous visuals. In one of these sutras, King Bimbisara, he's a king. Oh, I said that. Yeah, he's a king. He gives his friend, who's also a king, a gift. And King Bimbisara asks the Buddha, what should I give my friend? And the Buddha says, why don't you give him this Wheel of Life painting? So King Bimbisara does that. And his kingly friend actually gets enlightened on the spot. As in, I guess he attains stream entry on the spot just through this visual. That's profound. I don't hear many examples of this type of experience in the sutras. I think I've come across more experiences of people who they listen to stanzas, they hear words and then they get enlightened. So this is inspiring to me, and something I did come across, a modern day experience that sounds very similar to this one, was there's this singer who I used to listen to. His name is Devendra Banhart, and he's a Buddhist. And he's a good Buddhist. I think he's a good practitioner. And do you know? You do. She knows King Bimbisara. Sorry. Not him. She knows Devendra Banhart. Venerable Doctor knows. Okay. Anyway, so I came across this magazine interview with Devendra Banhart, and he talked about how he went to a museum in his early 20s and he saw a painting of a medicine Buddha Thangka by chance in the museum. He's talking to this interviewer and he says, she says, in quote, with an expression simultaneously conveying awestruck disbelief and experiential certainty, Devendra told me, the interviewer, how the image had appeared to him as fully present and alive, radiating out from the canvas and sucking him into it at the same time. He feels that the painting imprinted something upon him in that moment, something around the periphery of his being that has slowly made its way to his very heart. So, I don't know if Devendra Banhart attains stream entry from that, but maybe. But that was still really inspiring, Wow, he was in his early 20s and he was so into Buddhism, and then he just comes across this painting and wow, his life changes because of a painting that helped ripen some very profound past karma. So that gives me inspiration to continue what I'm doing here at the Abbey, to make these visuals for people. I make the photo albums, and these are virtuous images, and these will inspire people to come here, and they'll inspire people to practice the Dharma. And the Tara Satsas that some of us are painting, when those are in the Buddha Hall, all next to each other, someone might look at them and just maybe they'll attain stream entry. It's possible. So it's just amazing how we can create these images for people that awaken something so profound in their hearts and in their minds. So, yeah, I'm still asking all these questions, and I have more The answers are coming. They're coming very slowly, and that's okay. How do I want to move through space on this planet in a way that benefits beings in the highest possible way? What does that look like? What's the most beautiful, precious, virtuous image in my mind? And it's of the Buddha. And the Buddha's in monastic robes, so there's something going on. He's not in lay clothes. So, and how important do I believe this representation to be in society, this virtuous image? So I'm going to keep reflecting on all these questions and hopefully come to some answers in a timely way.